Are you telling me you're getting engaged? I'm asking.
We're credit union. We recognize that.
Nothing against REM, but
What about live?
Man on the
Live
Moon
there?
is blasting from Emma's.
Lifting up the stairs. I'm tossing a punch. Okay, never mind. We can't play.
Well,
Do we
no.
have any REM?
Yeah, we have REM.
Yeah, do we?
Probably nothing that
Yeah.
you want to hear.
No, probably. Just out of curiosity.
Oh, I gotta do dots here.
Oh, yeah. R.E. Oh, you got
Everybody hurts, losing my religion, Bang and Blame, Man on the Moon,
Yeah,
Drive,
it
The
was
One I
really-
Love. We have a ton. What's the frequency, Kenneth?
One I Love's pretty good. Man on the Moon I'd listen to.
Yeah, we have way more
Listen,
REM than I
You want to hear some REM?
Man on the Moon's 5 minutes long. Who's got the time for that? That's way too much music.
Take a minute off that.
Good
Let's
Lord.
go.
Okay, this next call is actually pretty wild.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
If you remember a few weeks back on the machine, we had somebody call, or it was a woman and a boyfriend. They were having an argument of, can you get hit by a car if the car's going 40?
Oh, yeah.
Remember, she's
They-
like,
they
I
were
feel
kind-
like you should survive.
They were kind of suggesting,
Yeah.
that, like, is 40 like a grievous injury?
And we were all, everyone was kind of like, what the hell?
By the way, too, I got something wrong that day that I've since figured out. Yeah, I was saying, remember I was saying to you that school zones are 30?
Yeah.
Most of the school zones are 40 around this. Like I was driving through Font Hill the other day, and there's a school zone that's 40.
Oh.
Where I grew up, there were 30.
Get out of the way, kids.
I've been going too slow in the school zone.
But you remember this call, right?
Yeah, I do remember, of course.
Well,
Just kind of giggling about it.
Take a listen to this.
So last week you guys were talking about what it would feel like to be hit by a vehicle going 40 kilometers an hour. This past Monday I was out for a walk when I was struck by a pickup truck. Let me tell you, the closer he got to me, it became such a terrifying experience. Definitely was more terrifying than it was painful. Every day is precious, though. I wouldn't take a single minute for granted anymore. And yeah, thank you, Super and Brown, for everything you do, making us laugh and smile every morning.
I mean,
Crazy.
You're welcome. But
Yeah, sure.
What the hell? You hit by a truck?
Yeah.
She's
Okay.
hit by a truck. I mean, it sounds like she's physically okay.
How fast was it going?
Mentally, it
Yeah.
sounds like she's still pretty shook up with good reason.
Yeah.
You hit by a truck?
Unreal.
What do you mean? Like, were you on the sidewalk? Like,
Huh? Crosswalk somewhere? Somebody was paying attention. I was actually, last night, I was searching as it gets dark extremely early. Dog requires walks long past the hour of sundown.
still, eh?
I'm buying some reflective tape.
Yeah, you're
I'm
gonna
buying
have
some
to.
reflective tape because, like, all my Columbia stuff is black. Like, my hoodies that I have, all black.
Let me get you a neon, rain jacket.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something bright. Yeah.
Get a vest, like a worker's vest.
Yeah, the vest don't fit big guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like adjustable and stuff. I don't like it though.
No.
I'm just gonna get some reflective tape and put it down the back of my rain slick. Yeah.
Sorry I said anything.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I tried them on before. And,
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Every time we go and do the thing at Robar, they're like, "Here's a vest." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks."
Oh,
Never fits.
I didn't know such a sauce.
Ah, it's a thing.
I didn't realize.
That's a whole thing.
God, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
905-682-9797. You call the machine anytime.
The Silver and Brown Show. 97.7 Hits FM.
The data is broken down by neighborhood, police division, and date, and is available online. Toronto Police hope the data helps the service and the community address intimate partner violence. Angelina King got an early look at the numbers.
On average, each year there have been more than 18,000 reported occurrences of intimate partner violence in Toronto in the last 11 years.
Hey,
And over that time,
Annie, how you
the
doing?
rate has remained relatively unchanged. The executive director of North York Women's Shelter, Carol Latchford, says those numbers, sadly, aren't surprising.
It's not getting better. It's like a disease.
Latchford says she hopes releasing the data helps educate the public and strengthen relationships between police and community organizations.
It shows the reality of the situation.
Last year, Toronto's Weston neighborhood had the highest rate of intimate partner violence according to the data. Toronto Police Inspector Roger Caracciolo says information like that is helpful.
We continuously use data to drive our efforts to identify triangles so we can address our resources, we can look at what kind of education we want to put in there.
In an effort to address the issue, Toronto Police also meet with community partners, have launched public awareness campaigns, and are developing an intimate partner violence reduction strategy with the city. Angelina King, CBC News, Toronto.
It is 7:33 and you're listening to Metro Morning on CBC Radio 1. Hundreds of people in Toronto's Moss Park area are learning that they will have to live at least a few more hours without power. The electricity was knocked out almost a day ago. Clara Pasica is with us now from the neighborhood. Clara.
Jill, I'm looking at a couple dark buildings on Adelaide Street in the middle of Moss Park. Residents here hoped their power would be coming back shortly, but while Toronto Hydro says it's been working through the night to restore power to the customers in this neighborhood, it's pushed back its restoration timeline yet again. The power dropped out at around 8 Wednesday morning. Toronto Hydro's website now says they're aiming for 11 a.m. for power restoration. Initially, they hoped for last night, then an earlier time this morning. There are still 588 customers without power, including a couple I spoke to.
They were just delay the timeline so that this brutal.
Yeah, we had to go get water at the grocery store last night, bringing home bottles of water.
Cafe to work, like getting charged.
Couldn't get a bag of ice, put in our freezer, trying to keep our food from spoiling. Lots of fun. Full city.
Toronto Hydro says the outage is due to a fault with an electrical cable. It appears a third-party dig at an active construction site in the area caused the outage and appears to have damaged the power line. Toronto Hydro says they have been working through the night to fix the fault and say they appreciate everyone's patience and understanding. But as time passes with few answers, that is something which seems to be running thinner and thinner. Jill.
Clara, thank you. The CBC's Clara Pasica. One person is dead. Another was taken to hospital after a truck crashed into a ditch in Scarborough. Happened in an industrial area at Markham Road in Finch a little before 7 last night. A female in the truck was pronounced dead at the scene. A male was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. There's no word on charges or other circumstances of the crash right now.
Hello, how you doing?
As we approach Remembrance Day, a display here in Toronto is showing just how many Canadians have lost their lives to war. A like display at Old City Hall is showcasing the names of veterans in Toronto's Golden Book of Remembrance. This year's Remembrance Day marks two significant milestones: 80 years since the end of the Second World War and the 100th anniversary of Toronto's Cenotaph. The city will mark Indigenous Veterans Day this Saturday and hold 7 ceremonies.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? From
Tuesday,
India?
November
Yeah, I am in Canada.
Jennifer
Nice to meet
Allen
you.
is back with a look at the roads.
We've been dealing with collisions on the eastbound 401. The first one is east of Guelph Line, blocking 2 left lanes. There's another one approaching Road 25, blocking the left lane. But a collision in Mississauga, east of Dixie in the Express, that one has been cleared away. Over to the westbound 401 approaching Port Union, there's emergency maintenance work underway from a collision. This is in the collectors, so the right lane is blocked, along with some long-term construction in that same area blocking the left lane, so only one lane is getting through in the collectors. You're slowing down from Westney to approaching Port Union in the Express and collectors because of it. And northbound 427 at the Express transfer to collectors past Dundas, the right lane is blocked due to a stalled vehicle. Back to Jill with your forecast.
A mix of sun and cloud, 2 degrees. We expect a high of 8 today, a few clouds tonight, a low of 3. And tomorrow, increasing cloudiness and periods of rain beginning late in the morning and a high of 11. It is 2 degrees right now in the city and the time just about 7:37.
My daughter went with a bunch of her friends as for Halloween as the Louvre thieves.
Oh boy.
You know, it's actually not that hard. You dress in black, you put a reflective vest on, you look like a bandit. But it just so struck me that it is a crime that has deeply entered popular culture, right? It's deeply wounded the French psyche, but it's a thing.
If you look at the latest article today, because I was reading, there was an update, right, about one of the suspects and their background.
Yeah, so if the reporting out of France is correct, and I'll throw that as an if because it's not fully confirmed, but this is an individual who was a museum guard, not at the Louvre, but at a different museum, I forgot which one, also in Paris.
Hello.
Was convicted of a jewelry store robbery 10 or 11 years ago, along with another person who has also been arrested.
One apparently a social media star.
Yes, yeah, rides around.
According to The Guardian.
Yeah.
But there is a long tradition of French robberies. Like it is a bit of a thing. Years ago, they tunneled in through the French Riviera. They tunneled in through the sewers into a bank. They did it on a holiday weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They brought a crepe chef and a couple of crates of wine. Well,
as they
it'd be uncivilized to rob a major institution without that.
Hold on, as cover or as...
No, in there as they drilled. Well, they had to sustain themselves, right?
You need a little bit of wine to do that.
Energy bars and peanuts.
Why do you know this level of detail? It's like the detail of somebody who remembers from being there. Anyway, yeah.
He was making the crepes.
He was the crepe guy. That's right.
Is it wheat or buckwheat? No. So, but what the interesting part, one of our fun parts was that they did it on a holiday weekend. So it would take days for it to be figured out. And they did it, and they broke into safety deposit boxes of people who were trying to hide things that they might otherwise have to declare taxes
rings
on.
on bells.
So
Yes.
yeah, this is about 40 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it became a movement.
But it was, it became sort of lore, right?
Yeah, but it's interesting you talk about French culture and these kinds of heists because the whole series Lupin is based on, amazing heists that he's able to pull off.
They seem to be
They seem to have a connection to that.
Yeah, that are interesting about French culture. Robberies seems to be a thing that they do.
And a little wine on the side.
My goodness. All right, John Northcott, what have you got ahead on World Report?
Well, people thinking of things criminal. Several more prisoners have escaped from custody in the United Kingdom. And this after, you remember, about a week and a half ago, an Ethiopian asylum seeker convicted of sexual assault was just let go. Well, it turns out that dozens of people every month go missing, in particular in the UK, particularly Wales and England. These two released, including one registered sex offender from the Wandsworth prison. That's near Clapham Common, a Victorian facility, but most of the facilities in London are. Think of Wormwood Scrubs and others. So we're watching that very closely, and it's becoming a bit of a political problem for the government in the United Kingdom. Speaking of politics in this country, the budget, of course, coming out on Tuesday. Pushback from some groups that say it is not as grand as that they said it would be in terms of the generational.
Yeah, we're actually about to speak with the federal finance minister, so we'll be putting that question.
Fair enough. And the idea being that there is some criticism. So our Janice McGregor is standing by in Ottawa, and when I'm finished here, I'll go over and talk to her, and we will have that on the air for you as well on World Report.
We'll leave it at that. Okay, John Northcott, thank you very much.
The best.
John is back at the top of the clock with World Report. Right now, sitting at 2 degrees. 8 are high today, and we've seen a couple of little droplets of rain in parts of the GTA this morning. About a 40% risk of showers this morning, but not expecting a huge amount. Matt Galloway has been away for a little bit, but he is back with us at the Current. Good morning.
David, good morning. For a long time, if you asked Margaret Atwood about the inspiration behind her novel, who are these people? Who are the mean girls in Cat's Eye that tormented you? Are they real people? They're not real people. This is a work of fiction. How could you possibly ask that?